sharing some things that I've collected about divine masculine, divine feminine dynamics. So the divine feminines that I've seen. Okay, well, this isn't totally true. The ones I resonate with had a similar background to me. There are some divine feminines who, I mean, I did as well. I had my stages of partying and like exploring life in that way, but I always had like a desire to be disciplined, and I don't know. I think that like goes across the board, but it does seem like there were like, because there were separate addictions I had to heal. So I guess it's okay. It's I'm trying to say, because I'm trying to just have an understanding of it and the journey and like my part in it and stuff. So, like, to me, the divine feminines, I think it goes both ways, but the masculine has a lot more of an urge and a need, not so much a need, but I guess, a submission in a way to like fit in with his peers, fit in with the people around him, and like be selfish and become a player. And he has a high status because he has so much power, I'm sure. And so then it's like, but he also has this mind that has a different way of thinking. He sees truth. He can see through the illusions. So I find it very interesting and hard to grasp, honestly, because I don't understand how that's possible, but it is. And I guess he continually lives in this constant duality because he's showing up like a clown, or showing up like the player, or showing up like an asshole, or whatever, or showing up from a bunch of fake accounts. But he has this deeper understanding and knowing of truth, and that God is always calling him. Like, that's what's so wild to me. But anyway, I'm not on that journey, so I can't fully grasp it. And whereas, I mean, this is at least prior to union. There might be masculines who have awakened and are on a healing journey without their person. But I get this is prior to union, at least. This is how I'm seeing it. And for the feminines, it's like, we also always had, I'll be there in a minute. We also always had this like way of thinking that was different. Like rejecting, like the rebel in you was always rejecting the norm and the standard and what you were expected to do and be and show up as and stuff. Like, there were little things I remember in high school where it was like everybody was drinking, and I remember listening to all the stories, like these, like we would have these assemblies where people would give all these horror stories, and I was like, yeah, why? The part of me was like, why would I go and drink and then get in a car and then I would hurt other people? So I always had like there were other things too that I always wanted to be neutral, because I was like, I don't want to pick sides. Like, I want to figure this out for myself. And I did party in college, and but then I like didn't have sex until I was like in my early 20s, I think. I was like 18, not 18, I was like 19, 20, somewhere in there. For the first time before I had sex. I did have a kind of a primal relationship with my first boyfriend. Like, it was physical, but we never had intercourse. And we were young. I was young then, for sure. So I avoided that. And I didn't, like, hookup culture was like something I grew up with. So it was like that was common, like that whole sexual liberation thing, which has now become a whole nightmare. But anyway, and like women sending nude photos. I did start doing that later, but that again wasn't until I was like almost 30. I didn't do that with most of my exes. So, yeah, I guess it was prudish in a sense, but it's also preserving your sexual energy. So it's shaping you in whatever ways. And, there's this purity that the divine feminine has, but it's interesting because it's like, it seems like there's this vulnerability because of that, but really God is always, there's always this protection that's around you. What I find interesting is that the way that divine masculine is guided to protect the feminine, but yet he still constantly fumbles. He constantly makes excuses. He constantly goes into victim mindset. He's always like still choosing the lower, his past self. Because God will, like, it's wild, because there's just like things where I'm just like, things could have gone so worse in my life, so many different instances, but it was like there was some sort of protection around me, and I didn't want to choose. I've had moments where I get like too far gone, or like I get kind of crazy, but like now I've learned how to be able to sit through that and move through it, and I think that's all goes together, because you're choosing to heal instead of choosing to eroticize your shadow. I did definitely party some and do some things I shouldn't have. I'm not saying I was never like, but I've never had a one night stand. I almost did one time. I've done a handful of drugs, but most of them I've done, like weed I smoked like more than once, but like the rest of them I mostly did like one time. I think I did LSD twice. I've done mushrooms once. I've never done any of the really hard stuff. And I choose not to drink and stuff. And that's kind of because of my life. Like that last time I went out and had some drinks, I went by myself because I don't have friends to hang out with. So it's like, you know, it's weird. It's kind of weird when it's not social, but I could be having a drink at the end of the day every day. And I'm not judging, like, at all. I'm just making the point, because there is this purity of your own energy and your own auric field and stuff like that that's going on and this protection that's put around you. Because even constantly communicating with people, like I'm just learning about that, you don't know who is an energy vampire until you discover it. And so then you're just constantly, if you're feeding into a negative attachment. So it's like, it's not to say that like, it's a hard trade-off. Like, it is very lonely. So it's not an easy trade-off, but it's like, it does keep your energy pure, and it does keep you close to God. So it's like, you kind of have to say which one would you rather? Would you rather have the illusion of security and have a bunch of people around you, or would you rather be close to God? And moving through all the emotions, like I keep dealing with resentment because I love my kid to death, but I'm like, now I got the vacation bug. Now I got the flying bug on me, and I'm itching to I'm kind of joking, but I'm like, I'm ready. I want to keep expanding, because I don't want to be in this place again in a freaking year. Okay, that's just some stuff that I wanted to share. Also, I'm not judging, like, if you're a girl that, like, go do your thing with dudes. I'm not saying, I mean, it is taking a chance, because there's energetic cords going on. You don't know who's a good guy and who's not. And it seems like, unfortunately, it's more on the latter. But that's not, I mean, yeah, but, you know, being prudish and selfish, like, who cares if someone has something negative to say about that? It's like, okay, like, that's literally your problem. Like, it's so weird. It's so funny now when you do that, and you're just like, that's a personal thing that you're dealing with. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with me. Okay, I want to share.